Yes, guys, and welcome back to yet another pre-match pump up over here on We Are Tottenham TV. Guys, it's good. Look, forget about Thursday. I know we're all angry. Let's leave it in the past, guys. Let's get behind the boys today. It's going to be a complete different 11 today. And boy, did they awesome performance. And let's make sure we slap the absolute claret out of that Ginger Homer Simpson, a.k.a. Sean Dyche. Let's make sure we get the job done today. But guys, first of all, bit of housekeeping to do. Make sure everyone smashes that like on the stream. Smashes the subscribe on the channel, guys. The big push to 100K is on. It's at 96,000 and odd. We're so close. Let's make sure we can push this channel all the way to the 100K mark. I want to see the boys get that plaque that they deserve. I want to see it in the studio every day. At the start of the stream, I want to see Ben and Sam with a big gleaming smile on their face, spraying some pledge on that bad boy and wiping it down. So let's get them to 100K. As well, everybody, feel free to get your super chats in and support the channel. It is a great way to support the channel. It's a great way to support the boys on their domination of YouTube as well, which is what we want. We want all the Spurs YouTubers out there to really be successful, and especially these boys who have given so many people a home and so many people therapy over the last while. It's been hard. Trust me, it's been hard. But look, roll on Burnley today, guys. Roll them on. Honestly, I'm not scared. I mean, Harry Kane has good stats against Burnley. Son has good stats against Burnley as well, so we should score. But everybody, make sure you stay tuned with this channel right throughout the day. I mean, you have the pre-match pump-up. Then you'll be going into the watch-along with Ben and Sim. And also the post-match fan show as well, guys. So the boys will be providing coverage all day long. The game is not live in the UK or Ireland either. So why not stay here? This can be your home for the day, guys. But look, I'll give everybody a bit about the game today. Of course, we'll start with some injuries. For us, we have Romero out with his hamstring. And for Burnley, they have Ashley Barnes out with their thigh. Dale Stephens out with his ankle. James Tarkowski and Ashley Westwood suspended. So already there's 3 starters there. Perhaps Dale Stephens probably would start if he was fit. So all of them out injured, which is a huge, huge plus for Tottenham. So look, of course, we are away at Turf Moor, guys. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. today. Live lineups will be out at 1 o'clock. Don't worry, we're always the first to get them here, so we will be bringing them straight out to you. The referee is Peter Banks. Hopefully it is Peter Banks, not Peter Wanks today. Hopefully he has a good game in the middle. Let me be honest, this guy absolutely loves the cameras. He loves the yellow card, so he does. Dishes out on average 5 per game. So, don't expect him to maybe wave at the kids and give them a little wink in the cameras. If anything goes wrong in the VAR part of the game, it's Craig Pawson is the guy to blame, guys. So I'll say that one more time. Craig Pawson, he's the guy to blame if we don't get the right decisions today. Because, look, Burnley, they are going to be physical. They're going to be physical in their area as well. So he better be on point today. But guys, we are 7th in the Premier League right now. Played 12, won 6, drawn 1, and lost 5, sitting on 19 points. 1 point behind Wolves, who have who have played 1 game more than us. And if we win, 4 points behind Arsenal. So if we win today, we will jump into 6th, going 1 point behind the scum, who think they're on a run because they beat Newcastle. I mean, let's face it. I mean, even we bet Newcastle. I mean, Ndombele looked like Paul Gascoigne against Newcastle. So it's nothing really to be, ranting and raving about like they are. But guys, Spurs have scored in all but one of their 14 Premier League games versus the Clarets. So look, if anyone's a betting man out there, I would be betting that Tottenham will score today. Tottenham's 6 league victories this season have all been by a single goal margin. So again, if you're a betting man, I would put Tottenham on to win by 1 goal. Tottenham's 6 league victories, I already said that one. Only Norwich have had fewer shots in the Premier League this season than the 124 by Spurs prior to the weekend. So that's not looking good. So we need to rectify that today. We could go 3 successive away league matches without scoring. Yes, guys, we are back. The guys must have got some dodgy some dodgy internet deal on Good Friday, I'd say. No, we are back though. We are back. But I have been alerted that the game might actually be called off. Whether it's too severe, heavy snow, apparently. I don't know whether the guys are messing with me or whether it's true, but I would say it's true because I'm not going to lie, it's absolutely freezing over here. But we haven't got the snow yet. So, look, it'd be interesting to see closer to kickoff what happens. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've been up since 8:30 this morning. I want a game. I'll be absolutely devastated if there is no game. But yeah, I was saying before we left off that Everton are the only team that have picked up more points from losing positions than Tottenham, picking up 7, Tottenham with 6. And of course, our danger man in the Premier League is Son with 4 goals. But guys, we do have a lot of problems going forward. I mean, I was just looking at this over there on the build-up to today's game. So Kane, 10 games, 1 goal in the Premier League. Moura, 11 games, 0 goals, 1 assist in the Premier League. Son, 4 goals and 1 assist. But in his last 4 games, no goals or assists. So, and that's all in the Premier League. So we really need to sort this out going forward today. You know, if we can sort this out going forward, there's no reason why we can't already be doing a lot better than what we're doing once we start finding the net. We need Kane, Son, and Lucas to really come together today. In terms of Burnley, it's not looking good for them. I mean, first of all, it's freezing up there, so it's definitely not looking good for them. You know, they won't be able to milk any more cows or stuff like that. I'd say half of the fans, you know, want the game called off so they can go and attend to their farms and get themselves, you know, welly deep in shite. But Burnley, they are 18th in the Premier League, played 12, won 1, drawn 6, lost 5 on 9 points. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be smacking them. I mean, the relegation candidates, their last 5, they have won 1, drawn 3, and lost 1. But believe it or not, have only lost 1 in their last 7, but they are mainly draws they picked up. So Burnley, they also have only just won 1 of their last 12 league meetings against us. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be smacking them up today. Drawing 3, losing 8, winning 1. They've only managed 1 victory in 15 Premier League fixtures against us as well. So, I mean, there's no reason why we really shouldn't be beating them. They are on a 4-match unbeaten league run, though. But, I mean, 3 draws, 1 win. Nothing to be going crazy about. I mean, Palace slapped 3 by these last week. There's no reason why we can't. The Clerics have scored 9 goals in those 4 games, though. 1 more than they managed in their previous 13 combined. They have scored a league-high 6 headed goals this season, while Tottenham are yet to score from a header. And it kind of goes back to where what I've been saying all along is we're not getting enough balls into the box. We're just not pumping balls into the box, and that shows with no headed goals this season. I mean, Burnley already have 6. You have Dwight McNeil. He is one of their danger men. Who, I mean, he just puts the ball in there for Chris Wood, aka Woody from Toy Story, you know, to try and get on the end of it. And of course, Maxwell Cornier, leading goal scorer with 5 goals. I mean, this guy is very sneaky. He's always sneaking in at the back post. I think he's already scored 3 goals sneaking in at the back post already this season for them. So he's one we'll definitely have to keep an eye on. Look, I know a lot of people always ask me for some nicknames, so I have put some together. So we have Cornier. We have Wood, Chris Wood, a.k.a. Woody from Toy Story. We have Sean Dyche. He's the Ginger Homer Simpson. We have Brown Nose Brownhill. I'm sure to expect to see him today. And we have Lowton the Locust as well. Matt Lowton, I expect to see him. And Charlie Taylor, a.k.a. Drillbit Taylor. So, you know, there's some nicknames for you guys out there for today's game. Once we beat them, we can make a bit of a mockery of them and a big song and dance about it. It will be absolutely fantastic. But look, it's not about me. This is all about you guys. We already have 2 guests in the background. If any of you do want to come on and have your say, click the link in the community section, all you glorious members out there, and come on and have your say about today's game. A lot to talk about. How do we get Kane, Son, and Lucas to start firing again? Who slots in beside Dyer and Ben Davies? Does Winks keep his place in the team, or does Ollie Skip come back in? So a hell of a lot to digest. So come on and give your thoughts. It's all about you guys. But look, let's bring on the first guest. It's Parth Maheshwari. And I mean, I absolutely nailed that pronunciation. So please do give me credit in the chat. But let's bring them on. Parth, my man, what's going on? All I can see is the hair. Come on, come forward to the camera. Let's see the face.
Yeah, can you see me now?
Oh, we can see you perfectly now. That's what we want to see, my man. How are you keeping? Are you excited for today's game, brother?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I hope it doesn't get postponed, obviously, because of, I think, the snow. Like, I just saw the picture and I think, like, it's going to be bad news. I just saw the picture like of the stadium, and it's like really snowing down the, down in Burnley. So.
It's only a bit of snow. What are they afraid of, my man? What are they afraid of? I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
to be honest, like yeah, I agree with you. You know, they're grown men. What, like, this, will the snow eat them up or something?
I take it Burnley mustn't have any underground heating. I wouldn't say so if that's the case. They should be whacking that up full blast. See, we're all right. They should just move it to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We can just roll out the other pitch on top and just change the
Yeah,
goals. It'd be absolutely brilliant. But look, Part, on to more serious matters. I mean, look, Davinson Sanchez got spun with the same move twice against Enes Mora. Do you
yeah.
expect him to be given another shot today, considering when he came on against Burnley in the Cup, he actually came on and done very well up in the air against Chris Wood? Does he slot in between Dyer and Davies today? Or do you give,
To be
does
honest,
Tanganga get a run out? Tanganga was selected against Leeds ahead of Sanchez.
I do see Sanchez starting because of the physicality of Burnley. Obviously, Sanchez is much better in the air, in my opinion, than Jaffet Tanganga. But also, in a way, you have to see that Burnley are a team who basically sit back and don't really come at you. So I think Conte needs to pick a more attacking side, I guess. So maybe Tanganga can help in that, or maybe we can go with the back three of Dyer, Sanchez, and Tanganga. Let's see what happens.
No, hopefully. And look, I agree with you. I think we do need to kind of maybe put Sanchez in there for the physicality. But I'll be honest with you, I also think Conte needs to hold some of these players accountable. And I wouldn't be starting them. I'd be
Yeah,
bringing in Jaffet Tanganga, because at least you know what you're going to get with Jaffet. You're going to get a performance with heart, desire, and everything else in between. So, look, it'd be a very interesting call to see what he makes. But everybody lineups will be out in 16 minutes time.
yeah.
But over here at We Are Tottenham TV, I'm going to cut down that down to 14, because we do get them early. But look, Pat, Harry Winks was selected against Leeds because Ollie Skip was out suspended.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, I thought he was absolutely abysmal. I didn't think he took his chance. Do you think he will be put in today? Or
I
sorry,
hope not.
Winky as Conte calls him. Sorry, Winky. Do you think Winky will be put in today, or do you think Ollie Skip, the human Terminator, will be thrown back in there to turn ball over?
To be honest, I hope Ollie Skip comes back in, and I've had it with Wings. I've had it with Wings.
Yes, guys, I think we're back here now. We are back again. Yes, we are. We're back. Absolutely love it. Honestly, you'd refuse that Good Friday deal if it's too good to be true.
Hmm.
Really do refuse it. But Part, I was asking you about the amount of changes.
Hmm.
No, sorry, I was asking you about Kane and Son
Yeah.
and Lucas, and how we fix the problem. So, sorry, tell us again, how do we fix this problem?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, like Burnley, like I think we need a physical presence in the box, some, and we need Harry Kane in the box. And like I mentioned earlier, Burnley don't really come at you, so
Yeah.
you can easily bypass the midfield, or like Skip and Højbjerg can have lots of time in the ball, and so can the wing backs. So I want Harry Kane to be there in the box, and like I want the wing backs to put some good crosses into the box.
Yeah, no,
Hopefully,
100,
yeah,
100%. I couldn't agree more. Look, we do need to get the wing backs to start putting some quality balls in the
yeah.
box. Look, we need Harry to stay there, because at the minute he's dropping deep, trying to pick up play, trying to
Hmm.
get us going forward, and it'd be nicer to maybe to have him more in the box, which he has been doing of late. So look, it's demonstrated midweek. You give him a chance in and around the box, he will put them away. So hopefully we can get him on the end of a few things today as well with Son. I mean, look, Son loves a game against Burnley, so hopefully he can turn up today.
Yeah,
I am keeping an eye on as it happens about the game being cancelled. Still no official confirmation yet. And the last pictures I've seen is the start clearing one corner of the ground. I don't know. Look, I mean, it's going to be touch and go. All depends how early they call it. Like, if they could call it an hour before kickoff, but then it could ease up half an hour before kickoff. So it'll
hmm,
be interesting to see how long they leave it until kickoff to call it off. But this game is in danger of it, Part. So it is, my man. But you know, look, we have a real problem, defending set pieces, Part. We really do. We've had that
yeah.
problem, I mean, the last while now. Burnley are specialists in practicing their set pieces. They practice very intensely. Is a set piece the most likely way you could see Spurs maybe conceding today? And how do you defend
Yeah,
Burnley?
to be honest. Yeah, and not only once, but maybe more than that.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
look.
especially with yeah,
No, sorry, go on.
I was saying, especially with players like Ben Mee, Tarkovsky, and Chris Wood. I think
Yeah.
yeah. Please continue.
No, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard with Woody from Toy Story up front, to be honest with you, because I mean he's a big
Hmm.
lad. He is very, very hard, very hard to defend against. I mean he's good in the air. So look, it's just about hopefully we can compete with him today. Geez, that it's not looking good for this game. But Part, my man,
Yeah.
what's your score prediction? And I want you to get everybody revved up. And at the end of your, getting everybody pumped up, I want you to scream, "Come on, you Spurs!"
3-1 Spurs.
Love it. I love it.
Come
And
on, you Spurs.
to all Spurs fans out there, all Spurs fans that are maybe saying, look, they're a bit down today. What would you
Yeah.
say to them to get them pumped up for today's game?
I think I don't know, to be honest. Like, get behind the team, get behind the new manager, and hope for the best.
Look, that's all we can do. That's all we can do, my man. But honestly, and I mean, I want it from the top of your lungs because, as you see, if I don't think you've reached the right noise decibels, I do make you do it again. So please, the loudest "Come on, you Spurs" you can give me, my man.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, louder than that. You're louder than that. Come on, my man.
Okay. Come on, you Spurs.
That's what I'm talking about. Big up, Part. Big yourself up. Thank you very much for coming on. And I'll see
Yeah.
you again very soon, my man.
Thanks for having me on.
No, legend. Everybody, big up Mr. Marashwari. Absolutely brilliant calling, as always. But look, let's keep cracking on. Let's bring on the next guest. And I think it's Dan, THFC. Dan, my man, haven't seen you in quite a while. Where have you been and how are you keeping? Oh, you're on mute, Dan. You're off mute now. I can't hear you, lad. No, you're very low. Okay. Try now. No, I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you, my man. Can everyone else out there hear him? Okay, Dan, yeah, you log out and log back in, my man, and we'll get you back on. Big up, Dan. But look, let's keep cracking on. Let's get on the next guest. I believe it's Kuva99. Or Danish Hotspur. Sorry, Danish Hotspur's on next. Let's get the Danish Hotspur on.
Davis Hotspur.
Yes, Ellie. Ellie, first of all, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
My husband just bought me some flowers, so I don't know what he's been up to. And he bought me some chocolates, and I've got a lovely cake. I sent you the cake. You see my cake?
I've seen it. You're absolutely spoiled, Ellie. Absolutely spoiled.
I know. And my daughter's buying me a Chinese on her.
Oh, absolutely love it. Honestly, you're making me hungry already. I haven't even had my roast dinner today. I haven't even had the roast today.
I'm living my best life. Now I don't want the game to be called off now. I want it to go through.
I know. How sickening would it be to have the game called off? I mean, we're all up for it.
What am I going to do? I'm going to watch James Bond film later as well. So I need to watch Spurs win. Come on, Spurs.
Be careful watching James Bond. You might see Kane and Regulon. I know they're at the premiere. You might see them with the slick back hair. But look, Ellie, looking forward to today's game. First of all, what's your thoughts ahead of today's game?
Well, I think it's going to be a very tough match, just put it that way, because Burnley don't take no prisoners, do they? No. They're a fantastic team. They work as a team, whereas we haven't been working as a team. It's like individual pockets of players playing for each other, but not as a team. So we've got to gel. I think Conte's been working on that because he said that his first ethos is to get everybody talking and being friends and being part of the club, and being welcome and feeling part of the club. Because that way he'll gel everybody and they'll play for each other.
No, I couldn't agree more. Just quickly, Ellie, I need to give a shout out to Chunky RS, new channel member. Big up, Chunky RS. I absolutely love the name. Quality stuff from you. Make sure you do come on and have your say, my man. Make sure you do come on. But Ellie, look, you've heard me talk about the stats for Kane, Son, and Lucas. How do we get this sorted out? And is today maybe the day they can combine together and unleash against a Burnley team?
What I think they should do, they should chat to Højbjerg and see how he got his 3 goals. They should be talking to him and taking some tips in it, David. You know what I mean? Come on, Højbjerg, my favourite player. I don't know why he's getting all this stick. I'm going to go on. I'll have to start my own channel, Højbjerg FC, run by Ellie.
I know, 100%. I couldn't agree more. No, look.
I love him. I love him.
No, I do too. I don't get why Pierre-Emile Brickhouse gets the stick he does.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Exactly.
I'll give him some Brickhouse punches.
Give them a sweet roundhouse to the forehead, Ellie. Huh? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Catman Jess with the super chat. Happy birthday to Ellie, the queen of the Harris Army.
Yeah, I'm only 21.
You don't look a day older. You do not look a day older.
Yeah. I didn't even get my hair done today because it's Sunday. There's nobody open.
No, look, there's no point anyway, Ellie. Tottenham are
I'll be pulling my hair out if we lose.
Nah, look, come on, Ellie. None of that Ellie talk
today.
W's only around here. W's only. It's a winners only corner today. You're in exclusive membership. But Ellie, look, Burnley's spine of the team is out. Westwood, you have James Tarkowski out and you have Ashley Barnes all out as well. The spine of the team is.
It though. Yeah, we're back on.
Woo! And we're back. We are back, baby, yet again. Honestly, more breaks. We have more water breaks here than what Ndombele does. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it here, Ellie. But look, Ellie, with Burnley, they're going to be comfortable kind of letting us have the ball. Now, we haven't seen too much of us dominate a game with a lot of the ball. Do you think, that we can dominate the game today in terms of possession?
Yeah, because we've got the better players. There's no end about that. They've got the better teamwork. So what we've got to do is match their teamwork or beat their teamwork like we did against Leeds. We outrun them. That's why we won the match, because we outrun them and we got into areas where we're going to affect the game and score a goal. That Højbjerg goal was excellent, wasn't it? I thought that was a brilliant goal. The way he cut it back for him. And he scored. He all right. He scuffed it a little bit, but he still went into the bottom corner. Gave their goalie no chance of saving it. Yeah. And then we got the winner, and I was so happy because I was in the disabled section that day because they put me there because of my broken foot. Yeah. And I swapped my brother's ticket for it, so I had a really prime view of that goal. When it went in, I went the craziest. I'm like craziest mama, yeah.
Ellie, I have a bit of breaking news. Sorry, I have to cut across you. We do have the team news. The team news is out. So look, it's Hugo Lloris in goals. Yeah. Emerson Royale at right wing back. We have Reguilon at left wing back with a centre back partnership of Davies, Dyer, and Davison Sanchez. Davison Sanchez is in the back line.
I think he wants to have another look at him then, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
If he's going to make the grade or not.
Yeah, be interesting. In midfield, we have Højbjerg and Skip. So no Winks, thank God for that. And then we have a front three of Lucas, Son, and Harry Class A. Kane. So there you have it. I'll run through it one more time. It's Hugo Lloris in goals, Emerson Royale at right wing back, Reguilon at left wing back, 3 centre backs, so Sanchez, Dyer, and Davies. Centre midfield partnership of Højbjerg and Skip, and a 3 up front of Lucas, Son, and Kane. And I know people like to know who's on the bench, so let me tell you who's on the bench. We have Galini, we have Doherty, we have Tanganga, we have Sessegnon on the bench, Winks, Dele, Ndombele, Bryan, and Bergwijn. Now, Ellie, a lot of these players let us down during the week.
Yes,
Look,
they
I'm
did.
at the point myself. I don't want to see Tanga anymore. I don't want to see the walking ketchup bottle of Dele Alli anymore. I'm done with them. Should we start just maybe putting them to the side and bringing in youngsters who want to play for the club?
Yeah, I agree with you, David, because they've been given enough chances. It's not like they've been given one chance or two chances. They've been given countless amount of chances and they haven't produced. And it's not just that they haven't produced, they don't look like they want to produce.
Yeah.
If you try, the Spurs fans will be on your side and will back them.
Yeah.
You know, because you're actually putting in the effort, but they're not doing it. And they're failing us and they're making us lose half of our matches.
Yeah.
We've lost more matches now after this Mura. We've lost more matches than we've won. So that's not good, is it? You know, we're Tottenham Hotspur. We're not losers. We always do well in the league. You know, so let's start acting like Tottenham Hotspur and be a team like Conte wants us to be. Because those players are good. They are good players.
Yeah.
There's only a few duff ones, but the ones that are not playing well, they are good players. Like Dele Alli's a talented boy. He just don't want to play.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't want to play, we ship him out.
Couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Well, look, Ellie, you know, Sanchez gets the nod over Tanganga and Roden. You know, look, two massive mistakes midweek. But in fairness, the last time we played Burnley in the Cup, he came on and he did deal with the physical presence of Chris Wood. Do you expect to see the same again today from Sanchez?
I think he's put in Sanchez because he's more experienced than Tanganga. And Tanganga's got a bit of a hot head because he does love Spurs.
Yeah.
So he plays with all his heart, the boy. And he's probably thinking he might get sent off in this one because they can wind you up, those Burnley strikers. Even their midfielders, they're tough. They're they're like Chris Wood, he's a brick house, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we got to watch him. And then they've got the smaller guy, I can't remember his name, the one that begins with V. Vidra.
Oh, Vidra. Oh, he's
quite a little sneaky player, but he doesn't score. He's a bit like what's his name at Chelsea, the one who don't score. You know, the ones who don't score.
Teeny Weeny.
Yeah. Werner, that's it.
Yeah.
He's like him. He doesn't score, but he produces for the club. You know, he puts in effort. You need see if the strikers are not scoring, if they're playing for the team, people forgive them. Or if they're doing assists. Like Harry Kane, he does both, doesn't he? Yeah. All right, this season he hasn't flown off yet, but he will. I think this is the game that Harry's going to get a hat-trick. If it goes on, I think he'll get a hat-trick today. So mark my words, because he's going to do it for my birthday, obviously, because I've tapped him up.
You honestly, it better not be the same source I use to contact Harry. Honestly, I'd be jealous.
I mean?
But look, Ellie, you know, what's your score prediction? Get everybody revved up. And then, honestly, it's your birthday, so I want you to scream, "Come on, you Spurs," at the top of your lungs.
Okay, I will do. But I think it's going to be 4-2 to Spurs, because we're going to let in 2 goals. And what do you want me to do? My very best Spurs? Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, the loudest you can give me.
Ready? Come on, you Spurs!
That's what I'm talking about. I absolutely love it. Yes, Ellie, honestly. It should be illegal to get this many people pumped up before 1:30 in the day. It really should be. It's a crime against humanity. But Ellie, honestly, happy birthday from me and everyone else here at WeAreTottenham TV.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Happy birthday. Happy birthday from me and everybody here at WeAreTottenham TV. You go and enjoy your day, love.
Harry Sarby rule. Come on.
Come on up to WeAreTottenham TV, Army. Big up, Ellie. Absolute brilliant guest. Absolute brilliant. Honestly, she's absolutely comical. She's brilliant. Gets everybody pumped up. I mean, the loudest "Come on, you Spurs" I've ever heard. Absolutely love it. But look, let's keep pumping on. Let's keep plowing on. The game still hasn't been postponed, so we're going to keep the intensity. We're going to keep the pump up going. Let's bring on the next guest. Yes, and it's Dan, my man. Dan, the man. Have you got the mic sorted?
I think so.
Oh, loud and clear. That's perfect. I can hear you, my man. Honestly, you were as quiet as Ndombele calling for a pass a few minutes ago. Now I can hear you. Absolutely love it. But Dan, what's your thoughts ahead of today's game, brother?
Honestly, I'm worried for Sanchez. He's gonna get rolled over, put in a washing machine, turned around, and in the snow, he's gonna end up doing snow angels. I'm honestly worried for San. I have no idea why he's playing. But at the end of the day, I trust Conte. Maybe seeing something in training that he's gonna change up how he plays from Thursday. But I'm looking forward to it. We have a good record against Burnley, so I'm expecting good.
Yeah, no, we definitely do. We definitely do. And look, we should be beating them today. It doesn't matter whether it's snowing or not. We really should be beating them. Look, one thing I am afraid of is that you might see Delhi and End Belly and the players thinking they're what's that bobsleighing. I think you might see them start bobsleighing around the ground. So I would be concerned about that, honestly, because they really don't care. They probably will end up thinking they're bobsleighers. But look, Dan, you know, my man, we have serious problems going forward. How do we sort them out, lad?
I mean, it's going to be a lot harder with the weather conditions that been given. But Son, I think with the speed that he has, I think it's really good that we've been seeing a lot more of Lucas Moura. I honestly don't understand why he hasn't been playing with other managers as much as he's playing now with Conte. Lucas Moura is one of my favorite Tottenham players because what he offers is a player that can pass players. He's fast as well, and he knows when to dribble players. Sometimes he doesn't know when to pass, but he does know, and he has the qualities. Lucas Moura is that type of player that whenever he gets the ball, you know something's gonna happen. So I think having Lucas Moura and Son is gonna be huge. But I'm worried about Harry Kane. Honestly, I don't know what's gotten into him.
Do you not think he's
I
played
hope
well of recent, though?
of recent. What do you mean from of recent? You mean
Like, you know,
against
against Leeds,
Moura?
he was the best player on the pitch in the first half, and he was getting us up the field. Same against Dennis Moore. I mean, look, he can't do everything on his own, but anytime the ball comes into him, his hold-up play is brilliant.
Yeah, but against Leeds especially, I thought he was a little bit selfish. He could have given the ball away a few times earlier, and he just kept the ball in his foot in unnecessary times. Moura, I mean, seriously, you can't really judge him off of that game against Moura because as much as Moura and we ended up losing to them, he did score a decent goal, but at the end of the day, it's Moura, a team that was established pretty much in 2012. So we can't really take it off a basis of that. But Harry
I
Kane,
know, but I mean, the thing is, we give out when Harry Kane doesn't score, and then when he does score, it's not good enough. I mean, like, you know, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think we just need
yeah.
to ease off Harry Kane. I think he's been playing well of late, and if anyone's going to score, I mean, as much work as Lucas Moura does, he doesn't put the ball in the back of the net. If anyone's going to do it, it is going to be Harry. And look, we need Harry Kane, Son, and Lucas all together. We need all three of them. We got to stop pitting them against each other. We need all three of them to come to the fore for Tottenham. But look, Dan, we do have a lot of guests in the background. I mean, an insane amount, a lot more than usual. So I'm going to have to start hurrying up through these. So look, I'm going to get your score prediction, my man. And I want you to get everybody pumped up because I know you're good at this. I know you love watching the Spurs game. So let's get everybody pumped up. Give me your goal scorers as well. And then on the loudest, come on, you Spurs, Danny boy.
I'm saying 4-1, and I'm so confident
Yes.
that we're winning 4-1 that I put £10 on it.
Ooh.
With my mate, which is a Burnley fan as well. So I'm that confident. And then I think Son will score 2 because he loves to go against Burnley. Kane will score 1,
Yes.
and Reguilon will score 1. I really like Reguilon. I want
Yeah.
Reguilon to get another one.
Just quickly. Regular, what's your thoughts on him quickly this season? A lot of people think he's having a bad season. Some people are saying he's had a good season. Where do you stand on Regular?
I think Reguilon I think it was huge signing him from Real Madrid. I think one of the most beneficial signings of that transfer window, and there was a lot of signings in that transfer window. Is a game postponed, according to Sky Sports.
Yeah, I think that could be it. But look, Dan, give us your biggest, loudest come on, you Spurs, my man.
But I have the nan sleeping, so it can't be that loud. But I'll give you one. Come on, you Spurs!
Absolutely love it. That's what I'm talking about. Big up, Dan. Everybody do get over and check out Dan THFC as well. He's absolutely brilliant. Dan, big yourself up, my man. I'll see you again very soon. Make sure you come back on the next pump up, my man.
All right.
Big up, Dan. I'll see you again soon. Big up, Dan. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I have one. I'm all right. But look, let's keep moving on. Let's bring on the next guest. Let's get him on. Who have we got next? Kuva, my man, how are things, brother?
Fine here. Thank you, David. You can hear me okay this time?
I can hear you perfect, my man. Can hear you absolutely perfect.
Brilliant.
How are you keeping, my man?
No big point on a pump up at the moment, is there?
Huh?
There's no point on a pump up at the moment, is there? If the game's being called off, but
yeah, I have confirmation that has been off. The game is off. It's over. No game today.
But anyway, I suppose we can still have a few words about the team.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, in some ways, I was kind of pleased to see Sanchez getting picked, despite what happened on Thursday, because he has performed well this season when he's been alongside Dyer. The problem's always been when it seems to be the responsibility on his shoulders. He might just be that kind of player. He hasn't got the sort of mentality to step up when it's him supposed to lead. But well, we'll see. Tanganga's young. He's got plenty of time to work his way into the team, keep learning as he's training with the team. Perhaps this postponement may be a blessing in disguise, because it will allow Conte a few more days on the training pitch with the squad. By God, they seem to need it. Otherwise, the team we were supposed to be putting out today looked about right to me. I thought Sanchez was the only one that surprised me. I thought I thought the plan for me was always going to be get the ball on the deck, outplay Burnley, just make sure we get the ball to our top three, our front three, because if we're pressing high up the pitch and we get the ball in and around the box with Harry Kane, Heung-min Son and Lucas Moura hanging around, there are goals in them, despite how we've been playing this season. And they're just better players than Burnley have. That we can't suddenly say they're not better than Burnley's players, for God's sake. I mean, it's not like we were going to Anfield or something, because Anfield, they can outplay you and outfight you. Burnley have only got the sort of passion, the physicality, and Chris Wood up front, and we should be able to outclass that. But irrelevant now, isn't it? So, yeah, let's hope Conte can do something in the extra training days.
Yeah, no, 100%. I hope so. And look, I'll be honest with you, I was surprised Sanchez was selected. I can kind of understand it, though. I mean, he did play well against Burnley when he came on in the cup game and dealt with Chris Wood very well. But I was surprised. I mean, I would like to show more accountability, make players, learn from their mistakes and their actions. But look, Skip was selected inside Weeks. Were you happy with that selection? Or inside Højbjerg? Sorry, inside Højbjerg.
Yeah, I mean, Højbjerg and Skip are basically they're nail on the only two midfielders that are guaranteed places. And if you have you have an actual first 11, and I think Conte's starting to see which are the players that really fit that role. And they're two of the players with a good attitude. At the end of the day, it's going to be those players with a good attitude that will last the time with Conte. That's why you see Ben Davies able to nail down a place. That's why Dyer's still in the team. They might not be the greatest players in the world, but they at least are trying, and they're listening to the manager. And you can see that in the way they've improved. Others, Ndombele, Dele Alli, I just don't see anything at all.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, making fun of Dele Alli because of his hair, that seems to be the only thing he's got going for him, is just how stupid he can look.
Yeah. I mean, it's only up to him to change. It's up to him to change opinions. You know what I mean?
It is. Same with a lot of them.
Bergwijn
Bergwijn as well. People call it for Bergwijn in the team, but what's he done really? His off-field activity seemed to matter more to him than the football.
Yeah,
we could say that with a few of them, but I'd sooner, and all the stick that Højbjerg's taken as well from the fans. I mean, I don't rate him if we're talking in terms of making the top four or challenging for the league, but he's a fighter and he plays for you every time. And at the moment, that is what we need. We need somebody we can rely on like that. It's no good putting Harry Winks in. Harry Winks has actually got the right attitude. He's just been on terrible form. Has he even got the skill set that we need? It's unknown, but I suppose that's why he's getting some sort of chance. Yeah. But I think Conte just knows a much better idea what his first 11 is now.
Yeah, I think he does. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, Barry Romero, I think that was probably his strongest 11 being put out there. That's just my opinion on it. I do think, because we had a fully fit squad to choose from, I think whoever he selected today was going to be the kind of players going forward. Look, we weren't really told that Lo Celso would be missing him, but I mean, he wasn't even on the bench. What's your thoughts there?
He's washed up. He doesn't want to play for this club. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
You don't see players strolling around like that so early in their careers at a club if they're going to fit in. It's shocking. Even with Lamela, his first season was diabolical, but you could see he was at least trying to do something. It just wasn't working. He came back and he's been a hard grafter ever since until he left us. But he was another disappointment, but he had the right attitude, so he lasted. Same with Ben Davies. He keeps staying in the squad because his attitude's there. It's probably better to have 11 players of that sort of ilk than the world beaters and that we've got, that we're always striving for. I mean, there's no point signing another Lo Celso and Ndombele, spend 100 million quid, getting another couple of prima donnas. That's not going to help us. Getting just a few proper grafters, turn into a hard-working team, then add the quality to it. That's the way forward, because we are completely broken at the moment.
Yeah, no, we definitely are. And look, Coover, just last question, because we do have a few more to get through. Will Conte be appreciative of this time now? That he has now between now and the Brentford game, and should we see a Tottenham team that are fully raring to go on the 90 minutes out of them, considering they're not being played today?
Yeah, I believe so. Conte, he said straight away he's got big handicappers. He didn't have that pre-season. That was the time where he was going to be shaping the team, getting them fully fit. Missed all of that. He's trying to cram it into a working season at the moment. And when you got midweek fixtures as well, there's hardly any time for him. That's why he's been doing the double training sessions, and bless him, Reguilon saying about he's dead because he's so tired after the training and then the match. But I mean, there's no other choice. Just got to cram it in. So the more time they get on the training pitch right now, the better. Which kind of fits in with people saying perhaps we should just drop out of that European competition, because gives them some extra time again, doesn't it?
No,
personally, I'd say go for. Yeah, personally, I'll say go for everything. But I mean, you look at what happened on Thursday, and you just realise the whole squad is just not good enough. We got decent first 11, but if you have to rely on anybody else coming in to fill gaps, it remains a gap.
Yeah, that's the truth. That is the truth, 100% there. But look, Kuva, I know the game's called off, but give me your biggest come on you Spurs, my man.
It doesn't even feel right, mate. All right, let's go for it anyway, because it's the club I've loved for 45 years. Come on, you Spurs!
That's what I'm talking about. Big up, Kuva. Really appreciate it, my man. Really appreciate it. Just before we let you go, where can people find you, my man?
Tottenham Tantrum Gold. I'm full-time with Dermot and Phil Lattis there, doing the old school games. Re-watching things from like the 1960s, 70s, 80s. We'll start doing some a bit more recent, so get maybe some Robbie Keane matches in, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just the old stuff and talking our way through it like a bunch of sort of grumpy, miserable old men that we are. That's it, basically. People seem to like it so far. Otherwise, obviously, there's a little channel called the Irish Hotspur that I pop up on occasionally. I don't know if you heard of it, Dave.
Never heard of it, my man.
I'm going around the channels like a bit of a whore at the moment. So I'll be on Brian Daigle's channel on top. Oh, God, I'm going to say it wrong here. I always want to say Tottenham away days. And I know. Sorry?
Tottenham on tour.
Yeah, Tottenham on tour. I know it's so Nobel the way. I always forget it. He's there in the channel and I'm still getting it wrong.
Honestly, he's going to start hating you like he hates Levy, my man, Kuva. You better start getting it right, so you better. But Kuva,
I'm in awe because I see the bloke and I'm like, oh, Messiah is here.
100%. But look, Kuva, thank you very much for popping on, my man. Thanks for staying on, even though the game is cancelled. And I'll see you again very soon, brother.
Will do, David. Take care, mate.
See you, Kuva. See you, my man. Big up, Kuva, everybody. Big up, Kuva. Of course, anyone that is tuning in, any of the guys from the US or Canada that are just awake, the game is cancelled. It is not on today. So, you know, it is very disappointing and annoying. But look, it is what it is. But look, we'll keep rolling. Let's bring on the next guest. Yes, Ross. Ross, how we keeping, man? Oh, I think Ross, are you there? No, Ross. Ross just came on to look pretty. Big up, Ross. Big yourself up, my man. I absolutely love it. Let's keep plowing on. Let's bring on the next guest. Who have we got? Mr. Daigle. How are we, brother? How are you keeping?
I'm good, mate. You know, first of all, Kuva, thank you for your kind words. And it's Tottenham on tour. Tottenham on tour. I have to say, mate, do you know how funny it is for us over here to hear a game called off for snow? But I'll tell you what, I mean, it's actually started snowing here today properly first. It's like proper snowing now. But do you know what I want to talk about, David? Do you know what's disgusting? Burnley are a Premier League ground. They don't have under-soil heating. And to me, that's got to be a Premiership staple. You know, like sometimes when teams come up and they say they've got to get the stadium to max capacity and get a certain... I'm sorry, but I know we don't get a lot of snow back home, but under-soil heating should be a staple for Premiership teams. Because you look at it, all the travel that they've done to get up there, our Spurs fans to get up there. So I know people that had to leave from Southampton and Brighton at 2 o'clock in the morning to make sure that, and they now go home. I think it's disgusting that they don't have under-soil heating as a guaranteed requirement for the Premier League.
Yeah, I just don't understand how they don't have it. I really don't. I'll be honest, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's super annoying. It's super annoying. Like you said, there's people that, you know, I believe it's a 4-hour trip down, 4-hour trip back.
From London, yeah, but people travelling from even further down, it's ridiculous.
Nah, it's a joke, you know. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous. But look, I do believe they probably would have to call it off for fan safety in and around the ground as well.
Yeah,
you know, with the pathways and stuff like that. But honestly, Brian, it's super disappointed. I presume you can go back to bed now and have a lie-in.
You know what? Now I'm up. I probably won't. I mean, once I'm up, I know there's other football and it's not the same, but you know, once you get up and you have that adrenaline and you're going to watch a football game, you just want to watch some football.
Yeah.
Like I said again, we're very lucky here in Canada that we get all the Premier League games. So it's not like you guys back home where you got to wait for either you got IPTV, but you got to wait and see what BT or Sky put on. I've got all of them, so I'll just watch another game. Just won't be as nerve-wracking, thank the Lord.
Yeah, it's still annoying though. You know, I'd be raging seeing the other games go ahead, and we were supposed to play today and didn't happen. But look, Brian, Brentford on Thursday. You know, we have them coming up. I think it's a 7 or half 7 kickoff. You know, do you think Conte would value this time now that he's had, in the fact they don't have the Burnley game in their legs, and that we should see a fully fit Anna at Tottenham come Thursday?
So do you know what? I see pros and cons to it. The pros are, yes, he gets more time with the team, which is good. He'll go back to London now. But do you know what? He probably put so much fire up these people's arses ready to go out and put in a performance today that he's lost that, and he's lost another game to analyse, right, who do I want in and who do I want out? So also you've got to look about where we're going to fit this game in. This game has to be replayed. So obviously it's not going to be anywhere over the Christmas period. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So where do they fit it in? And then this is another game. Let's say we get through the Conference League, or we get to the semi-finals of the Carabao. It's another game that's got to be wedged in somewhere.
Yeah.
But whereas it may be good to get, it depends which way you look at it. About the good. I'm kind of looking at it. The more I say it, I'm looking at by how does he relight that fire all the way, or keep that fire burning all the way till Thursday? I'm sure Conte can, but there are probably people on that pitch or getting ready to go out today that knew that if we don't put in a performance today, goodbye. And it's kind of, you know what? It's kind of when we were kids and we prayed for a snow day. That's what the players have just got today.
Yeah, that's spot on, actually. And you know what? You're 100% right. But look, no in the league, they'd probably try and shove it in between Christmas Day and New Year's, or else they'll shove it in like they've done before with Carabao Cup. We'll have play 2 days, then again 2 days later, and then again 3 days after that. I presume that's what they probably will end up doing. But look, it's just hugely disappointing. I mean, I can't believe they don't have underground heating. It is absolutely ridiculous. But Brian, look, maybe we'll have a quick look at Brentford on Thursday.
Yeah,
we are at home, of course. We should be beating them, surely.
I mean, do you know what? You would say surely, and at home you would say surely, but one thing you can't knock Brentford for is that they have come out and they have given it a really good go. That they've got a lot of strength. I mean, expect to see. I mean, Davinson Sanchez, I imagine, will play just because of Ivan Toney.
Yeah,
I think out of all the set, I think he's definitely going to start. You look at this. It's more time that maybe Kane could do some extensive training. I think they need to work on how can Son and Kane's telepathic relationship just go like that. They've gone from being like telepathic to being strangers this season. So I don't know if there's any work they can do there. Look, you got to look at it and say any time that Conte can get on that training pitch, whether it's via a game cancellation or not, is a positive thing. But then, again, it comes to he needs to get games in them to see if they fit his situation. His philosophy.
Yeah.
So it's basically that saying 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, isn't it? There's no wrong answer in this one, really. There's positives and negatives, but I think they both weigh each other, like cancel each other out. But you've got to think at home, build up to Christmas. Hopefully Spurs. I mean, Wednesday coming is 4 years that I moved to Canada. So I'm hoping on December the 2nd, I mean, Spurs, every time it's been someone's birthday or a milestone recently for all of us, Tottenham have done the opposite. Well, I'm praying I can break that trend and Tottenham can give me a good present.
Hopefully, Brian, hopefully we can get the win on Thursday, my man. It definitely can. But look, Brian, where can people find you, my man?
They can find me at Tottenham on tour, and as Cougar said, hopefully Cougar and Dermot will be on the podcast this week, and then on the 2 brides next week, we've got 2 blockbuster people, or definitely one confirmed, but we're hoping.
No, we're both confirmed. Both.
We're both confirmed. Okay, so we have the Irish Hotspur and his psychic Jack Kanicki coming on the 2 brides. So the 2 brides is going to be very entertaining next Friday, and yeah, they can find me at Tottenham on tour. Let me just say to all the Jewish people that watch, especially Ben, Sim, and Grandpa, I wish you all a very, very happy Hanukkah.
I was going to save it till the end. You took it off me. I was going to save it to the end because I thought people maybe didn't know I knew, and I was going to surprise them at the end. But look, I'll do it with you, Brian. Same to you as well. Happy Hanukkah. Same to Ben, Sin, and Grandpa, and all the family, and everybody else out there. Happy Hanukkah. I do hope you have a good day. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, this game being called off, so it doesn't ruin it, Brian, huh?
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to watch my New Orleans Saints later, and they've been pathetic this season. So I might just get stressed from one team, not both. So maybe it is a good thing. Maybe it's a Hanukkah miracle. Who knows? Who knows? But David, thanks for having me on, brother. I love coming on and spending time with you. You're going to ask me to say something, aren't you, to sign off?
Yeah, just look, you allow this come on, you Spurs, and then your usual. You're going to sign off your own way anyway.
So I'll do it as loud as I can because I've got a mother-in-law and wife that's asleep. Fuck it. Come on, you Spurs! And then, as always, Levy out.
Big up, Brian. Big up, Brian. Everybody do get over and check out Tottenham on tour. Honestly, the man's an absolute lunatic. I mean, the mother-in-law's probably after rolling out of bed with the biggest fright of her life with the big shout, come on, you Spurs. I mean, it's only like 8:30 there. That's absolutely quality. Big up, Mr. Daigle. That's hilarious. What a man. Of course, the walking we are tattoo. You gotta love it. But look, let's bring on the last guest of the afternoon. And it is, I think, Sean Butler.
Hey.
Sean, my man, how are things?
Dave, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Do you know what? I was good until I seen the game called off. What am I going to do with a Sunday now, man? What am I going to do? This is my life.
Mate, I poured myself a nice glass of red wine. I spent about an hour and a half trying to figure out how the hell to get a stream on. And apparently the only way you could do it was to go via Peacock, right? So I had to get my VPN out, list myself in America, sign up to a monthly subscription of some bloody streaming company that I'm never going to use. I've subscribed, and now I don't need it.
Oh man,
It's a nightmare.
what an absolute mare! What an absolute mare! And you know, just look, there's plenty of people doing what you've done today, and even the fans that have travelled up, reporters. You know, I'm pretty sure a lot of them travelled up as well, and it's just kind of like 4 hours there, 4 hours back. It's a long journey. You feel sorry for them too.
Oh yeah,
it's an absolute disaster. The game being called off. I mean, but look. Do you think maybe it is a blessing in disguise for Tottenham with Brentford coming up Thursday? It means we might be a bit more fresher going into that game.
No, see, it's interesting, right? I've heard Kuva saying he thinks it's a blessing in disguise. Brian giving a bit of like it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't think it is, right? And I think unfortunately, when you add snow and heavy snow to the game, it generally means that a team that would rely on technique and zipping versus a team that would play long ball football, like the odds are stacked a little bit more in the favour of Burnley, right? In a world where the game went ahead. So on that basis, I think that it's obviously a little bit of a blessing in disguise. But really, the one thing that I haven't heard mentioned from the other guys that have had this conversation with you is, this was the start, or maybe against Leeds was the start of a run of fixtures in the league that was favourable, right? Or, in somewhat, if you're going to look at a run of fixtures, we had 5 or 6 games before Liverpool, or maybe before Leicester, depending on how you think about Leicester this season, where we could try and put a run together. And if we won today and then beat Brentford on Thursday, both games should be winnable. Obviously, right now, everyone's a little bit scratching their heads about the Moura game, even though I do think the Moura game, the sending off of Sessegnon, no one's really mentioning how much that does impact. I know we should have beaten Moura with 9 men or 8 men, technically, but, playing 65 minutes with 10 men, it does make, and you're already 1-0 down, it does make that kind of, the chase back a little bit trickier than it would have otherwise been. But so the reason why I don't think it's a blessing in disguise is because it takes away one of those games of that 4, 5, 6 game run where we should. I had Tottenham to win today. I think it wasn't going to be easy, but I did think we'd go 1-0 down and come back and get it 2-1. I'm going to the game at Brentford on Thursday. I think that's another one that we'll flatter to deceive, but we'll get it through. And all of the Tottenham fans will start to be a bit more positive, and we'll forget about the Moura thing. And the other point, so sorry, I'm rambling here, but
no, work away. This is great. This is fantastic.
Okay, cool. So I do think that the game not going ahead is like I say, it's a one of those kind of winnable games that would have given that momentum and hopefully started something where the atmosphere around the club, the team, it could start to change a little bit as we go into the busy season. And but that's not available anymore. Now we have to replace that game. That game will happen. I think Brian made a good point. It's not going to happen until after Christmas. I think we had a similar thing last year with a game. I forget who it was. I think it was Aston Villa that was postponed because of COVID, or because Aston Villa had COVID players, and that game was around this time of year, and it got pushed all the way back until like February, and that screwed us up because of the congestion then. So it's definitely a problem not having the game before the new year. But the other side is, if it's not going to happen until February, then it does give us a chance, in January, because our squad is so weak. Like, we've got no strength in depth, right? Well, actually, before I go into that, how do you feel about my first comment on the blessing or not?
No, look, do you know what? Absolutely brilliant points there, man. And I think it just goes to that old added cliche. It's kind of like you'd rather points on the board than games in hand. You know what I mean? So, look, do you know what? It's great points. I never really thought of it like that, I have to say. And the more I think about it, the more it kind of rages me, And then, look, maybe it's just God giving us more time to get over the Moura game. Maybe we haven't had it yet. Who knows? Who knows, my man? But no, look, it's terribly disappointed. I mean, look, so many Spurs fans had, the game booked in, and it's now just kind of like, what do we do with the day?
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think there'll be a lot of people playing FIFA today, I reckon. But look, I'm just going to read out a couple of quotes. A quote here from Conte. Just give me a second to get it up. 1 second. I just want to get your thoughts on it. I should have actually asked everyone today, but honestly, people were flying in for the pump up, which hasn't happened in a while, which was great. But just a couple of quotes here from Conte. He says, "We need players with the right mentality, with the quality, players who deserve to play for Tottenham and aspire to be competitive, to fight for this shirt and win something."
Mm-hmm.
Do these quotes suggest there is an attitude problem at Tottenham, or is it just a severe lack of quality, or is it both?
I think it's both when it comes to playing in every competition, right? I think if we put out our full strength team against Mura, we probably would have, we would have handled it. But I don't think that's not an excuse. The players that were on the pitch, are miles, or should be considered miles ahead, right? So I don't think that's an excuse for Mura. But I do think there's a massive level of toxicity that's penetrated through the club and the first team. And I do think it started with either Harry Kane himself, what happened in the summer. I'm not giving him a hard time. I love Harry Kane. I want him to get over it. I hoped when he was talking about Antonio Conte coming in, that was almost, I hope the way he spoke about it was like, you know what? I didn't respect Nuno. I can't wait to work with Conte. That was the way I kind of interpreted his comments, but nothing's really changed with the performances. But this isn't a bash on Kane, but I do think the behavior in the summer was the start of a level of toxicity where some players in the team, and I think you can see it with Højbjerg. Like, I think Højbjerg, I was at the game, forget which one it was, whether it was Arsenal. It was Arsenal away. And Højbjerg's like he visibly was pissed off with Harry Kane on the pitch during the game in the first half, I think it was. And I feel like I think maybe there's some level of players in the club that are, a little bit over or a little bit conscientious of this concept that some players think they're too good, right? Or they should be at a better club. And I don't think that's been resolved. It wasn't resolved with Mourinho. It hasn't been resolved with Nuno, and it certainly hasn't started to be resolved with Conte. But I don't know if Harry Kane was necessarily responsible. I wouldn't be surprised if Gareth Bale, as much as I would love him back in the team right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Gareth Bale, when he came in, had a little word in Harry Kane's shell and said, if you want to leave, this is the kind of thing you need to do, because I had to do the same thing 5, 7, 8 years earlier, right? And I think there's this kind of superstar level status that some players have, and maybe Harry Kane wouldn't have. Maybe Harry Kane was given some confidence in the strategy in which he invoked that I want to move out kind of ethos. I think maybe Gareth Bale had some influence in that. What are your thoughts?
Do you know what? The Gareth Bale point you make, it's a good point. Maybe. Look, do you know what? One thing I will say is look, I can get maybe some players thinking the way you were describing there, but just get up to Harry Kane's level. Surely that's the answer. You know what I mean? Like, don't be hating on him because he's world class. Same as son, he's world class. Just get to their level then. Instead of sitting there moping around and crying, do your best in training every single day. Stay back in training late like that guy's done, practicing, and get to his level instead of sitting there crying, moaning, and everything else. Just get to his level. It's simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, going back further, I think a little bit of the problem with Tottenham fans, Tottenham as the way we are now, the way we're represented, best training facilities, best stadium, being able to put on the NFL. We're a big, huge brand, right? But in terms of success on the pitch, I kind of feel like the worst thing. I remember reading a massively in-depth article about Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. Right, when he came into Liverpool, and he said the worst thing that could happen to Liverpool's progression is to outperform and overachieve too soon. And then if you do that, then having the next season a massive step back. If you go 3 steps forward, but then 2 steps back, that can kind of be it could be chaos for the project or the plan. And I feel like maybe getting to the Champions League final where we seriously outperformed on that season, then we were playing, like we weren't ready. Like we were, even though it was great for us as fans to experience it, we weren't at that level amongst European football. And when you have that team of players, a lot of them who are still around are when they get to the promised land, but they knock on the door of the promised land, but we don't quite make it. Like, most of those players are probably going to sit there and go, well, that was my one chance to achieve something super special in my career, because I'm not, some of those players are not at the caliber where they're going to do that again.
Yeah.
Right. And then to have that kind of have that opportunity missed, and then the next season it all kind of fell apart a little bit for Pochettino. Even he was a little bit disenfranchised, disheartened. I don't think we've ever fully recovered. But I think Tottenham fans need to maybe reassess a little bit our expectations. I think that sometimes we're not. We believe that we're bigger than we are, better than we are, because of the stadium, because of the
Sean,
the other stuff.
Let me ask you a question. Should we temper our expectations, or should the board be matching our expectations? Because I mean, it was the club that brought us to the heights and having these expectations. So should we be tempering our expectations as fans, or should the club be matching our expectations?
Well, how do they do that? But let me counter with a question. I know you should never answer a question with a question, so forgive me.
No, work away. I do it all the time. Straight away to deviate my mind.
So January. So we've got January coming round, right? I've had half a dozen conversations in the last week with my friends who are fans of other clubs, bigger club, clubs with more success, and I've asked them. I said, you name me 5 players that were bought in January transfer window in the last 10 years from any club, not Tottenham, any club in the Premier League, right? And that have turned out to be super high value for money, that were the difference, that turned that season around for that club. And I'm sure, I hope if people are still listening in the comments, maybe people will come down with different answers, but Bruno Fernandes was one answer and Luis Suarez at Liverpool was another. But I can't think...
Did Van Dijk not move in a January transfer window?
Okay, I don't know. Maybe people can...
I mean, look. The thing is, there's definitely 5 players out there over the last 10 years that have changed teams. Even if you go down and look at maybe some of the smaller teams, they've definitely brought in players that have transformed their season. Look, the reason why I say is it up to the board to match our expectations instead of us tempering ours is because, I mean, you look at the article Swiss Ramble put out during the week. I mean, so even the week before that, an article came out that Tottenham made a profit over the last decade of 400 million profit.
Yeah.
Now, then an article comes out this week. The owners have failed to put in 0 out of their own pockets over the last decade.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we sat through 3 transfer windows and not bringing anyone because I told us there was no cash there. Now, I get they were building the stadium and everything else, but they wanted that. They wanted the stadium. They've done that for their pockets. They've done the same at the training ground. Yes, it benefits the team. It benefits the fans in hindsight, but they've done it because they wanted it. A lot of fans would have been happy to stick at White Hart Lane for another 2-3 seasons and really build on this squad, but it didn't happen like that. Then you look at them not putting in money. Why are we sitting there for 3 transfer windows? I mean, you look at Liverpool, who are middle of the road between Man City and Chelsea and where we are. They rolled. So they backed Jurgen Klopp. Didn't work out with the keeping in Champions League final. They went and got Alisson. Before that, it didn't work. It wasn't working out defensively. They went and got Van Dijk. And it doesn't matter how much they were asked for. They went and got them. But the thing is, the point is they put money in their own pocket and look at his success. But at Tottenham, they just will not do that. I mean, they refuse to do it. But you'd argue if they have put their money in their own pocket and they do start to do it, which they need to, they can help us out more, and we wouldn't be in the situation we're in. We would have the quality players. I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Steve Hitchen, when you look at the list of players he's brought in, I mean, it's absolutely a complete load of crap. I mean, dross, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I think the guy might be...
Well, that's the problem, though, right? So you look at someone like Liverpool, they don't live beyond their means too much. Man City, maybe Newcastle now, those sorts of clubs, and Chelsea, obviously, those sorts of clubs have a different set of rules, but... A couple of points, not to defend Daniel Levy in any way or the club, but just the reality is, I've got my own business. Okay, if I was to supplement my own business with savings that I had from when I was a career man, when I worked for another company, if I was to constantly work at a deficit and go, I got to pump more money in, it doesn't work, right? So So the first question I'd have is there anything like morally, ethically wrong with people treating a football club like a business that has to sustain itself, right? So a club needs to, if the idea is, go on.
Let me tell you why it's wrong. Because look, at the end of the day, football is a complete different business to anything else. You know, you have to appease the fans. You have to appease lifelong fans. This club is being passed through generation with some fans. You know, there's worldwide fans. It's a football club first. First and foremost, it's a football. Now, I have no problem someone coming in, you know, as long as making money. I mean, look, in hindsight, I mean, the business model, it sounds great and fantastic, but it's not working. I mean, we've spent this. Norwich owners have put in more. They put in 2 million. And Burnley owners have put in 5 million. I mean, Newcastle owners, previous owners, took money from the club. So the thing is, but you look at our football on the pitch, it's reflecting that. It's reflecting where we are in terms of owners.
Oh, but hang on, Dave. Hang on. There's a slight difference, right? Burnley have had payouts from bigger clubs in tribunals for players that they nurtured through their system. Liverpool had to pay 6 million quid to Fulham. I forget the player, the guy who broke his ankle at the start of the season, the kid, right? Fulham nurtured that guy. Liverpool's approach to running a football club, whereas we took the approach of let's invest in the stadium, let's invest in the training ground, right? That's one style of doing it. Liverpool took the approach of, we're going to go through the youth system, and they've got some of the best players like, Trent Arnold, those guys have come through their youth system. Spurs don't have the same, haven't gone down that path in the same regard.
Sean, for as long as I can remember, they've been investing in our youth system. They're not getting the right players in. They're just not doing it. Right. I mean, I don't know how many players they've been and brought in, and it's never worked out. We haven't.
But that's not the stadium. That's not the fault of the investment in the stadium. That's like they've done everything they can to assist the development of players. They've given them the very best training centers in the world, but they haven't bought the right players. And when you say, but Tottenham the team aren't investing in the best players, look at the players that we have spent serious money on. Lo Celso, right? Spent a fortune on him. He hasn't done it. Sanchez, we spent a fortune on him, and he got turned over twice by a Slovenian plumber a couple of days ago. Yeah. Like we have taken the stab in the market, and Ndombele is the best example.
No. Look. The thing is, I agree. I'm not saying we haven't spent money. Like, we've spent money. I'm talking about the owners out of their own pocket. It's completely different. I mean, should we have to sit there for 3 transfer windows being told we have to sell to buy? No, we can't sell the crap that they've brought in. Yeah. When they could have put money in and helped us.
But how much is enough, Dave? How much? Listen, I'm not.
Sean, I get you. But the thing is, I'm not asking them, and I've stated this plenty of times. I'm not asking them to do what Chelsea and City have done. I'm not asking them to go to that extreme length. But what I am asking is for them, in times of need, to put the money in. Because think about it. How long is this business model going to take for us to generate enough cash to be able to start competing with them clubs? And by the time it does, it's already going to go to a new level. What I'm asking for, look, I think I'm fair. I'm not asking for astronomical amounts, but I'm talking, we shouldn't have had to sit there for 3 windows without a player. They could have pulled money out and put money into the club and invested. They chose not to. They could have went and bought players when we needed them. I mean, the manager's calling out for them. They chose not to do it.
But we tried. Like, we tried to replace. So, like, if you look at the team right now, where are
with the Celso one? You mentioned the Celso, Sean, right? Yeah, we spent money on him, but they wouldn't pay the 10 million extra to get Bruno Fernandes, and this is the whole problem.
Yeah, but you're playing Monday morning quarterback, right? Bruno Fernandes turned out to be a superstar. Ndombele, when he came in, when he's shown those flashes of magic, everybody was like, "We got this new super." It hasn't worked out. His attitude stinks to high heaven.
Let me tell you on Ndombele. Tottenham were going for him. Barcelona were going for him. Real Madrid and Man City.
Yeah.
Now, Man City, Real Madrid, Barcelona never tabled a bid. And I'll tell you why. Because they went and done their proper homework on the guy and realized he had fitness issues at every single club he's been to. Go and watch. Go and do the research. It's true.
No, that's fine. I agree with you, right? So that's a scouting issue.
The thing is, we didn't.
Yeah,
we didn't. And this is why we're being lumped with these sort of players. Because we are not doing our homework on the recruitment side.
So that's a scouting issue, though, isn't it? That's not an investment issue. That's us going, we've got money to spend. We're trying to replace Eriksen.
Well,
let's go after this guy. But the guy who's advised that is bad, right?
No, in terms of like the likes of Ndombele and yes, it's a bit of a scouting issue. But I mean, in terms of Lo Celso, They only got Lo Celso because it was cheaper. Make no mistakes about it. They loaned in Lo Celso. I mean, everyone that looked at the guy in that loan period before we signed him would have said, well, hang on, 45 million. I don't know about that. But then everyone looked at Bruno Fernandes, looked at his stats and looked at how he's playing. And you could even see, if you look at Lo Celso compared to Bruno Fernandes, Fernandes has that winning mentality. Lo Celso doesn't. And no one can tell me he does, because if he did, he'd make sure his passes are correct in the final third. He'd make sure when he's in front of goal, he'd put the ball in the back of the net. The guy doesn't give a toss. Now, that 10 million that we got Bruno Fernandes for, that is an investment problem. That's not a scouting problem. That's an investment problem. Make no mistake about that.
I mean, it's you could argue it's both, right? It was initially, we didn't, like, same with Jack Grealish, didn't want to pay whatever it was, 6 million more, right? Missed out on him. We missed out on Tomiyasu over 2 million, ended up getting Emerson Royale, in my opinion. I know he's brand new to the team and he's settling down, but I don't think Emerson Royale offers anything more than Aurier did, right? The only difference between Emerson Royale and Aurier is all of our goals are conceded, with the exception of Moura, all of our goals are conceded down our right back position. The only difference is Aurier committed fouls that led to set pieces that we conceded from, and Emerson just gets beaten every time, right? So I don't think there's any difference between the two. We could have had Tomiyasu. That's a £2 million bid, or 2 million, whatever it was, euro bid we didn't want to make in addition. And Tomiyasu looks awesome. But that's, so yes, I agree with you, man. And by the way, like I say, I'm not defending, I'm with you 100%. But like, I think that there's more to it than just, oh, Daniel Levy doesn't want to put his hands in his pocket. And I'd go back to the point, even if that is the issue, how much is enough for you to be satisfied with Daniel Levy and Joe Lewis?
Well, I mean, Sean, it is an issue. I mean, you look at the top clubs in that who have put money in. Everton, okay, they've kept themselves in the top half of the Premier League while teams are getting better and better and improving. Yeah. You look at Aston Villa, they've had a meteoric rise. They've had promotion to the Premier League. They're now staying in the Premier League, finishing in the top half of the table. You look at Brighton, new stadium, back to a couple of promotions, solid in the Premier League. You look at Leicester, winning the league title, winning the Community Shield, and constantly challenging for top four now. So it does go to show that if the club is not generating enough to be able to get the players it's needed, that when the owners do put their hands in the pocket, you do get a return for it. You do. I mean, you look at Chelsea and City. I mean, they clean up on most things. So there is a return investment.
Well, I could throw for every one of those examples. I don't want to, but I could throw out Leeds United, right? Not Peter Risdale. What was the guy's name?
But I mean, that's money mismanagement, and that's back at a time where there's nowhere near as much money as there is now. Let's be real. Yeah. Let's be real. There's nowhere. That's at a time where there's nowhere near as much money as there is in the game now. I mean, there's no excuse for it now because there's so much that's coming in. But look, the thing is, it does come down to financial. It does come down to investment. Look, that league doesn't lie. I mean, you look at the standard of football on the pitch. I mean, because of the result of bad recruitment, because the result of also them not investing over 3 windows, you're seeing Burnley, Newcastle, and Norwich standard football on the pitch from Tottenham Hotspur. And there's no surprise we're in and around them. There's no surprise that Liverpool are middle of the road in terms of bottom and top. They didn't sack Klopp after losing the Champions League final. They backed him, and they backed him well, and they got a Champions League and a Premier League out of it.
I agree.
Decided they would sack Pochettino,
awful.
Not give him the players he needs. Bring in players that Joe Hart has been and gone. Doherty was shit. Session overpriced and overpaid. You know, so there's players in that window that were poor signings as well. And the whole reason why we are here, it is a lack of investment. I mean, not to put any money in. None. I get it. The model sounds great and everything else, but we have to be honest with ourselves. It doesn't work. If we keep continuing like this, we are going to slide further and further down the table. We will. I mean, but
it's also like if the money's there in January, right? And I know you probably got to move on to other people left. I don't know, but you have to. I've loved this argument because I'm actually on your side. I agree with you, like in 90% of stuff. It's just for the purposes of debate. Yeah. In January, like if Daniel Levy turns around and Joe Lewis and they go under their bed and they pull out 200 million, right? Where do you prioritize? Because I think the right back is the most understated and probably the most important position on a football team's pitch, on a football team's on the team sheet, because you have to be ambidextrous. You have to be able to cross with the right when you're going forward. You have to be able to defend, because everyone on every opposing team's strongest position is left wing forward, and they're always trying to pull inside. So you need to be ambidextrous, tall, strong, fast, defensively astute, and going forward. And all the best teams have got the best right back, a very solid right back. We haven't replaced Trippier, and Trippier was a bare replacement for Kyle Walker. Since then, we haven't replaced it, and it's I think the cause of most of our problems in the team. So, but I don't think you can prioritize replacing that right now. So, where do you spend the 200? Even if you did 200 million, does that make you happy? Where do you spend it? How do you spend it?
Well, look, first of all, I don't see why they can't put money into the club. I mean, they tried to furlough staff at the club during the pandemic, while Joe Lewis made profit with his own company over the pandemic. So there's no reason why they're putting staff on furlough. Nobody can sit here and disagree with that. It's not right.
I agree with that, 100%.
Especially since the fuck is making profit over the pandemic. So there is money there to be spent. They can put money into the club. They do not want to. Look, for me, I think if they did put the money in, look, don't get me wrong. Now, there should be about 100 million to spend this January. There should be, right? Because there was money there in the summer. We just didn't get Vlahovic and that over the line. So that money should be there this January. But if they could add another 50, 60 million to it, you can sort out maybe 1 or 2, 3 positions out of that, and get the right players in and move forward. Where I would spend it is hear me out on this.
Of course.
I actually disagree with John Emerson.
Okay.
I actually think he's a lot better than what people give him credit for. I think he's better going forward than Aurier. I think, look, right now he's just acclimatizing, but no one can forget, I mean, the mistakes Aurier cost. I mean, I can remember 5 right now, and that's without even digging.
I'm no fan of Aurier.
No, I know. In terms of where I would spend the money, I think, look, if we got a ball-playing midfielder, I actually think you'd see an improvement defensively, because we're not putting the pressure on them, because we can retain the ball and play around with it. And I think going forward, I think that ball-playing midfielder would link the defence to the midfield and the midfield to attack. And I think if you could get in and maybe another creative midfielder, so that if you do want to, say, take off a Lucas Moura, you have that option where you can put Kane and Son up top, get them to make the runs and bring in that player to find them. So for me, I think that's where I would be spending the money, is on midfielders, because, look, they spent it on Ndombele. They got it on midfield to do their homework. That's on them. So they have to rectify it. The Celso, they cheaped out, and we got a player that can't even make the first team. Whereas if we would have spent the 10 million, we would have a player that would be on the starting sheet week in, week out. So that's where I would be spending my money. And it's up to them to put it right. I mean, look, us fans, we turn out week in, week out, whether it's fans across the world who get up at ungodly hours. I mean, whether it's people like me who on match days, I sit here for 8 hours a day doing YouTube, providing content, just like the boys here on WeAreTottenhamTV. You know, whether it's the fans worldwide that pay for the subscriptions to watch the matches, or the match day going fans, or even the match day away going fans who follow this team all the way across Europe, up and down, and get the bread to the country. They don't deserve this. It's not up to them to put it right, because we're the ones that put the money into the club. We buy the TV subscriptions, which goes back to the club. People buy the merchandise, which goes back to the club. People spend money on the tickets, which goes back to the club. Spend money around the stadium, which goes back to the club.
Listen, I get you.
It's up to us to demand. It's up to them owners to put it right. And I think they know they cocked up. That's why they brought in Conte. That's why they brought in Paratici, to try and put it right. I think they do realise they have made their mistakes. But look, Sean, going forward, let's just see what happens. Hopefully they can put it right, and hopefully things get put right, my man.
Listen, mate, I completely agree. I know we're having a strong debate here. I agree. Yeah, but I agree with everything you're saying. I just think that sometimes in terms of like the decision making so far, I think that the money has been available. It's just been paid. And I don't think if Daniel Levy is the guy who says, no, we're going to get Ndombele and we're not going to get such and such, or we're going to get Lo Celso and not Fernandes. If he's making those decisions, then of course that lands on him. But if he's the person who says, here's 50, 60 million, this is all I'm willing to do at the moment, pick your man that we can get for that, and somebody else is the one who scouted and not looked at Ndombele or whatever, not realised that Fernandes is worth it and Lo Celso wasn't, then I don't think that's an investment problem. I think that is a scouting and a talent problem. But Who am I?
I mean, the
That's
thing
just
is,
my opinion.
we had a bid in for Fernandez. They were arguing over a couple of million, and they decided not to go against it. What they were doing is they were going to. My guess on it is, look, I'd never 100% know this for sure, of course, but my guess on it is they went to Sporting. They told them that they had a deal in place for Lo Celso, drop your price, or we're not paying for him. And Sporting just said, well, screw you, don't pay for him. We know we'll get this price, end of. And Tottenham walked away. That's what I truly believe, because it was cheaper. They wanted to try and get him for the same price they were getting Lo Celso. For me, I just think it was a cheap deal. And look, anyway, you know who employs these scouting people? I mean,
well, yeah, 100%.
You look at the long list of Steve Hitchen and the players he's brought in. I mean, why is he still walking around Tottenham way? I mean, he's a massive part of the problem. Make no mistake about it. He's a massive part of the problem why we're here. I mean, he brought in Sanchez, Lo Celso, Ndombele, Doherty. You know what I mean? There's more there. Session, Jack Clark, who we overspent on.
Yeah.
Joe Hart, who's come in and gone. You know what I mean? The list goes on and on and on. It's shocking. Are
you blown away by Paratici's signing so far? Galini? I don't think I've seen him make a save.
I hear a lot of people make this argument, but I mean, we gave Steve Hitchen 3-4 windows, but people will go, it's not Steve Hitchen's fault, it's Levy's fault. And it's kind of like, well, it is, because people who come in and employed in their job, they have to be held responsible if they're not doing their job. But the thing is, I don't get why people are trying to pull Paratici down. I mean, I do believe he's coming to try and help the squad. Am I blown away by signings? I mean, no one can argue with Romero. Absolutely world class. I think he will be.
Yeah, I agree.
Galini, look, with that one, I think that was a stopgap. I mean, you look at Hugo Lloris's contract up in the summer, doesn't look like he's going to sign a new one. Back up, then you're looking at Brandon Austin, contract up in the summer. I wouldn't say we're going to offer him a new one. And you look at Alfie Whiteman, contract up in the summer, wouldn't say we're going to offer a new one. So the reason why I think Paratici got Galini in, and the reason why is because, A, we have no real backup keeper, but B, come this summer, we're in a real sticky position. If we didn't address that in the summer, which we had other areas we need to address more urgently, what it does do is if we do get put in this situation in summer where we only have Galini, what it does is it means we will not be extorted by other clubs, because if we didn't have any keeper, clubs could charge what they wanted and we would be ripped off. I mean, they'd be giving us big wedgies and everything. I mean, they'd be absolutely But by having Galini, what it does do, it gives you a chance to be able to bargain with these teams. You know, it gives you time to be able to find the right replacement. So in terms of that aspect, I can see what he's doing. I think it's a shrewd move. Is he good enough to be long-term number one? I don't think so. But in terms of what I've just explained, it's a shrewd move.
You make a good point. You make a good point there.
I think Emerson, look, I get people's criticism, but I mean, the guy's only been here for 12, 13 games. You know what I mean? We have to give him a bit of time to settle in. And I already think he's already better than Aurier. I already think he's better than Doherty, hence why he's already in the team. I think that will work out as a good sign. I mean, this is a guy that Barcelona did not want to sell, but they were forced to. And in the meantime, they've had to give Dani Alves a contract and bring him in. So they didn't want to sell him. I think.
Why were Barcelona? So this is another example of financial mismanagement, right? Barcelona are in the predicament they are. You know, they've gone from.
This is the point. I mean, they went to astronomical lengths. I'm not asking our owners to go to astronomical lengths. I'm not asking them to do it. I'm just asking them to be fair. That when we are in need and the cash flow might not be there, you put money into the club.
Yeah,
you put money into the club, because the thing is, why should we always have to bow down to their way because they think it's a business? To us, it's a football club. Why can't there be a happy medium?
I tell you why, right? Because if you're going to run a club at a loss every year, right? Then there's the only way you make money, real money, to where you can cover that exorbitant expenses is if you consistently Champions League, win the league, right, and you go far in every competition. And if you're not doing that, then spending all that money, it ends up like there's not that many people in the world, right? There's not that many people in the world that have got that much money, so much money, where this is just a plaything, it's a toy. And do you want those people, you know, even if you could find one, do you really want those people? Like, it becomes like, it's not what football was about for me. Like winning, like I loved the fact that Tottenham were organically improving every year since Martignol into Harry Kane. I loved that, right? All the other Chelsea, go on, buy your success. Who gives a shit? We're getting better and better and better and better. And obviously, we're derailed at the moment. But I don't want to be owned by.
But I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for that. What I'm asking for is just a happy medium. I'm not asking them to make a loss year in, year out, which may I add, they haven't, because they made 400 million over the last 10 years in profit. But what I'm asking for is like when we need it, one or two of them over there, say, just for instance, pick the 3 transfer windows we went without getting a player because of cash flow problems, this, that, and the other, buy to sell. I mean, they got the recruitment wrong in the first place, so why should us fans be punished watching and paying for these guys week in, week out and putting that crap out in front of us? Why should we be punished when they got it wrong? You know what I mean? So rectify it, and B, at least over 1 or 2 of them windows, put your hands in your pocket and get a player in. I mean, the thing is, there can be a happy medium. It doesn't have to be to one extreme where I'm asking them to dump 500-600 million into the club. I'm not asking them to do it. I'm not asking them to make that loss at all either. You know what I mean? It is their own hard-earned cash at the end of the day. But what I'm asking for is just a happy medium. You know, if there's a bit extra that someone wants for a player and we don't have the cash flow available, go and put it in. Just put it in. I'm asking for a happy medium. I'm not asking us to go out to astronomical lengths. But the thing is, they won't. Right now, it's just purely one-sided. It's their way or the highway. And it's not.
I don't think it is, though, mate. Like, like we spent 60 million on Ndombele, and he has
of money that the club generated.
Yeah.
So they're mishandling club's funds. They're mishandling money that's been put into the club by fans, and etc. They're mishandling that money. Is that right?
But it's not. If it was a situation where, have I lost you? You still there?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, the audio went out. I just feel like if there was if Ndombele had worked out, if Lo Celso had worked out, if Sanchez had worked out, right, then we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's not that they haven't invested. It's either a combination of the players don't give it, like we have mis-scouted and misbought players, right? But that's not a lack of investment. It's a misinvestment, a mismanagement, a bad choice, right? Every business, you make some good choices, some bad choices. Hopefully the better ones are more frequent than the bad ones. But it's not like they haven't had a crack. And you say it's with the profits of the club, but that's how.
Well, let's be honest. Having a crack. The transfer window under Jose Mourinho. Session, Jack Clark, Joe Hart.
You pick the bad one. Yeah, there's definitely a shitload of bad ones.
He's not having a crack.
No. Well, listen.
Right. We received 50 million for Kyle Walker. We've tried. Now, since then, rather than just spend that 50 million on a fullback that you know is going to come in and do the job, we've brought in Aurier cheap, Doherty cheap. You know, that's on them. That's mismanagement. It's complete mismanagement. Just if you're going to sell a player for 50 million, use that 50 million to reinvest to get the best player possible for that right back position. Because now we've gone through 3 seasons of crap with 2 players that haven't been good enough. Ndombele hasn't been fit since we got here. The point I'm trying to make is it's not that they haven't invested when they have had the money. What my point is that we shouldn't be going through 3 windows, which has hampered us without putting in money. They could have put in money then. I mean, if instead of going for the cheapest option and trying to make that money spread out across 6-7 positions, which is what they tried to do under Jose Mourinho, I mean, you got the recruitment wrong, not us fans. Correct. Did. You're the one that employed the people to put in place to be able to do the recruitment, not us fans. You did. That's all on them. It's all on them. Yeah. We, like us fans, all we do is rock up for the games and stuff like that. Yeah. We should not have to watch the crap we are. I mean, the recruitment under Steve Hitchen has been woeful. Woeful. He's still here walking around Tottenham Way. It's an absolute joke. They will not put in the money to be able to buy the right players in, even if it comes down to mismanagement of funds and bad recruitment. Again, that's all on them. That's all on them. You know, nobody else. It's not on us fans. And the thing is, I just want them to be fair. I just think Like, the thing is, if you're going to own a football club, you have to accept the fans. It's like, the thing is, anyone that owns a business around the world, they will put their money in that business to make it successful. But they
at the start, people take investments out of their savings or out of wherever they can get to get the thing going. But after a while, it has to be sustainable.
They spend their own cash as well to be able to keep improving along the line.
Not really. No, the business model of most businesses is like once you've got your seed fund, you've got your money to get yourself going, and then you need customers you need your revenue, you need to make money, right? You need your revenue to come in. Like, you can't, if you're running a business where every single month or every single year you're having to dip into savings to keep it going, it's not a business.
Our owners are not dipping into anything. They've not dipped into a single resource over the last decade. That's 10 years.
But I don't think they should have to. I don't think they should have to. I think that Tottenham is a bit. I think it's. Well, why should anyone have to, just to keep me and you happy? And by the way, like I say, I am no fan.
I'll be honest. Hold on here a second. I dump 80 quid a month into paying for the subscriptions for the matches.
Yeah.
I mean, I pay money to travel to the game. I pay for tickets and stuff like that. I pay for merchandise. I mean, like, the thing is, I was here supporting the club before they even bought it. Why shouldn't they put their own money into it, Bezos? At the end of the day, should I be paying for the crap I'm seeing? No, I shouldn't. At the end of the day, if you're going to buy a football club, it's different to any other business. You have to put money in, as well as you have to try and operate, as well as on the revenue come in. But they should be putting money in, especially when things have got this bad and it's their mismanagement. Because I'll tell you what will happen, Sean, is they can walk away from this club, sell it for over 3.5 billion, compared to what they bought the club for a couple of million. They're going to walk away with an astronomical amount of money without dipping their hands into the pocket, because all the revenue and the profit they've made is because they've used Tottenham funds to put back in and build the stadium, build the training ground, and Levy land that's coming on the way. And the reason why they're putting the money into bricks and mortar, them players, is because it's safer for their investment, not for Tottenham Hotspur. If you're going to buy a football club, you have to care about the club and its fans, plus the business side of things. Now, no one asked Levy to come along and buy the football club, or Enoch. They chose to.
Would you rather Alan Sugar still involved?
Sorry?
Would you rather Alan Sugar still in charge?
Well, no, not really. But I mean, the club did. I mean, the man did save us from bankruptcy as well. You know, so you have to give credit where credit's due.
But that's what bankruptcy, mate, is a business that doesn't make any money, right? That is always.
Yeah, Sean, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. I'm not asking them to go bankrupt. For fuck's sake, let's be honest. They haven't even put £1 into the club. Is £1 going to make them bankrupt? I mean, is 50 million going to make them bankrupt when the guy's made astronomical profits on his businesses over the pandemic? Is that going to? No, it's not.
Listen, mate, I think. Yeah,
Let's stop pretending that we're asking them to go bankrupt and then they're going to go bankrupt if they put any sort of money into the club. No, they're not. Even if they put some money in, they're going to make it back over the next few months or over the next few years through concerts and NFL games and everything else. So just put some of the money in.
That's different. That's different, right? That's different. Like, you can take a short-term view and go, okay, we need to have a cash injection, whether it's through a loan or through their own pockets or whatever, right? You can do that sort of thing. But the idea of, like, this is, like I say, I'm coming across like I'm some supporter of Daniel Levy or Enoch. I'm not, right? I'm on your side.
No, but you are saying that they shouldn't put in money. But why shouldn't they? Tell me why they shouldn't.
No, I'm saying that businesses won't survive, right? And to them, it's a business. To us, it's our passion, right? But you said I pay £80 for the subscription. Or people that buy it myself got a season ticket, right? But that's a choice that you don't have to make. You
have a season ticket. Are you happy going and watching the crap you're watching?
Am I happy going and watch the crap I'm watching?
Yeah.
No, I'm not happy. I'd rather it be a lot better. Listen.
Okay.
I'm coming across
like, it be a lot better when they're the ones that recruited the players and put us in this position.
I'm on the same side as there, mate. It can be a lot better. It should be a lot better. I hope it will be a lot better. I just think that the pathway to better, right? Like the road to hell is paved in good intentions. Like to take money that we don't have or that we do have in someone else's bank account and just throw money at it. We've got, I feel like I've suddenly become entrenched in this defense of Daniel Levy. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, in January, what do we do? How much? If he was to go, here's 200 million, wherever it's come from, whether it's come from a loan, whether it's come from Joe Lewis, he sold his yacht, and he goes, here's 200 million, Dave. You take that 200 million and you decide where we spend it.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know about the January transfer window, what do you do with it? And is that and the fact that Conte's only here for another 18 months, right? He's not. We can't wait till summer. So what do we do in January to keep him happy, to keep everything going? What do we do with 200 million?
Well, I mean, first of all, let's get to the reason why Conte's here. So Conte's here because they didn't back Jose and they fired him. Conte's here because they didn't back Pochettino and they fired him. And and Conte's here because Nuno, they appointed him and it didn't work out. Yeah. So it's their last chance. At the end of the day, they mismanaged managers, so that's on the club. That's on the owners. They mismanaged the people in replace to get in the recruitment. That's on the owners. So therefore, I feel they should go. There's 200 million to Conte, to Paratici. There you are. Go and spend it. And I'm at the point now. I'll be honest with you, Sean. Look, I'm a fair fan. I like to think I'm fair. You know, I will say that they have done good things like the stadium, world class, training complex, world class. It gives you a chance to bring in world class players. It does. But there's no point in building them if you have no ambition of bringing in world class players.
Yeah.
The thing is, where we are at now, it's all their fault. Whether you look at recruitment, whether you look at whatever, the people in place do recruitment, it's all their fault. Okay. So no matter what, this January, you only have Conte here for 18 months. And the thing is, if Conte doesn't get back in January or get the players offline, he will walk and we're looking for another option in January. So therefore, they've put themselves, the owners have put themselves in a position where they have no option but to pay the going price in January if they want a player. Go and pay it. And the only reason why I said that, I would never have said this before, but because things have got so bad and everything that has happened right now always goes back to them. That's why now they're in a position where it doesn't matter what it is, you get them players in at all costs. And that's on them. If they would have spent the money right in the first place, it wouldn't be cost them now to be able to put it right. So the fact that they mismanaged funds, why shouldn't they put money in out of their own pocket to rectify it? Now, you put money in your own pocket, back Conte, give him what he wants, and then take it out further down the line. I don't mind that. But right now, get the players in.
Yeah, and that starts with what? A central attacking midfielder to be the Ndombele that wasn't? I'll be honest with you. I'd be going with a deep-lying ball player. Such as?
Look, there's loads out there. You have Tonali.
Calvin Phillips.
Do you know what? I actually don't rate Calvin Phillips, I'll be honest with you.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't rate Calvin Phillips. But look, I mean, there's tons of them out there. Identify one that Conte wants, more preferably. If Conte wants somebody, go and get it, bring them in. And look, who knows? If they do that, we could be seeing a much better Tottenham Hotspur. But look, Sean, I have one more person to get on, my man. I have to say, look, man, it's been a fantastic debate, and I do want to clear this up. You are playing devil's advocate, by no means. You know,
that's it.
Backing them, you are playing devil's advocate for the sake of the debate. I have to say, you put me under pressure. I do like that. Thank you very much for coming on, my man.
I love it, man. Dave, it's been a pleasure. I'll speak to you soon, mate, okay?
No, definitely. Look, make sure you come on more of these pre-match pump-ups, my man, and you go and enjoy the wine, brother. You enjoy. Finish off that bottle.
It's almost done. It's almost done.
No, finish off the bottle, lad. You may as well go for the bottle, lad.
Yeah, I'll crack on. Thanks, buddy. Speak to you soon.
Good man, Sean. I'll see you again soon, brother.
Cheers, mate. Take care.
Boys, what a debate. Sean coming in, put me under pressure. You gotta love it. You do gotta absolutely love it. Brilliant. What a man. Great debate, I have to say. But look, let's bring on the last guest of the afternoon. Let's get him on. Who have we got?
Hey. It's me
yes,
again.
Mikey, how are things, my man? How are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm good. Uni work's been a bit of a struggle, and I was kind of hoping for a relaxing afternoon with a Tottenham game, but alas, the snow has grinded that to a halt. And of course, I'm in London, the only place in the UK that never gets snow, so that's not fun. But
yeah,
I was really hoping for a good 2-3 after that embarrassing performance on Thursday night. I was really hoping for a nice 2-3-0 win, watch the Burnley fans try their route one and get stopped by embarrassing our back three stopping Burnley. Probably couldn't even do that, to be honest. If they couldn't stop Mura, how are they going to stop Burnley? But
yeah,
alas, I think that with the game not going ahead, it's a blessing because it gives the players time to reflect even more. I don't know if they're going to play it because they said the snow will stop in the afternoon. They might play it in the evening, but probably not be played in the next couple of weeks or so. Because obviously we haven't, because with our European schedule and our EFL Cup schedule, we've got barely any time for a rest. So this will be a much needed boost before we play. Who do we play next? I think it's
Brentford on Thursday.
Brentford. I'm right near the Brentford Stadium, so that's kind of ironic. I think that I'm just here to rant about Thursday. I listened to the game obviously they weren't playing it. There's a nifty little site that Bet365 do radio commentary, so I was listening to that, and it was absolutely abysmal. Every time I heard their goalkeeper's name, I thought, have we had a shot on target? And they said, no, he's just sauntered out and picked the ball up. And Ndombele did one good pass, and that was about it. You were talking about it with the other guy, and I cannot believe that we paid that amount of money for a player like that. What is it? He's still our record signing. When you think about a player like Gareth Bale, he left us for we paid 2/3 of the Gareth Bale price for Tanguy Ndombele. I think he's not 1/10 of the player Gareth Bale was at the time. And you talked about Lo Celso, but I think the one that doesn't get a lot of attention. I think the worst deal that we've done was the £42 million we spent on Davinson Sanchez.
Yep,
he was our record signing at the time. That was you talked about the recruitment and the issue being whether or not the owners I don't particularly care where the money comes from, as long as it's ethical source, as long as we're not like exploiting kids, then obviously I'm happy for the money to be put in, as long as they're putting in some money. If Conte doesn't go anywhere where he's not going to be backed. He went to Chelsea where Roman Abramovich promised him money and gave him the money. He went to Inter Milan where when the financial situation came out, he said, I'm not dealing with this, and he left. Conte wouldn't have come in unless, well, first of all, Paratici, and second of all, Levy has promised him a war chest to spend. I'm talking a literal 100 million minimum. And knowing this guy, he's going to go out, he's going to try and buy players like, I know that this is very unrealistic, he's going to try and buy someone like Marco Verratti and then end up going for someone completely off radar. We're looking for players. Like, I remember when we were looking for a player to replace Christian Eriksen. We went for Bruno Fernandes. We wouldn't pay the money. Then we had to go for Ndombele, who was not the kind of player that Eriksen was. Ndombele likes to run with the ball, whereas Eriksen stops play and picks the passes.
Yeah.
We tried. The only deal that I've seen work out for us has been Romero and Højbjerg over the past few seasons. I can't quite think of anyone. Maybe Reguilon as well at a stretch. He's been okay, but I can't really think of any other signing that's done us a world of good. And Ndombele's been a drain on not only money, but he's been a drain on the food resources in the canteen, judging by the sound of things as well. And I don't quite believe that the club I started supporting at the age of 10, watching Gareth Bale score that ridiculous free kick against West Ham, I think it was my first game that I ever watched. I got a Bale t-shirt for my 10th birthday, and I'm now sitting here. I saw us go through the Pochettino era thinking we made the final, and then when they sacked him, I was like, okay, if they've got a Mourinho lined up, then probably like the Ole situation, Poch took us as far as he could, and then we kick on, keep challenging and win those trophies. And we've just regressed season after season.
Yeah.
2 Europa League finishes and then 1 Conference League finish. That is, I don't claim, like, we can all agree Tottenham is not the biggest club in English football, but we're not a small club. We have a proud history. Trophies have been hard to come by, 1 in 30 years. But if you look at our league finishes, we consistently finished in the Champions League under Harry Redknapp, and then with Pochettino as well. We made the final, for God's sake. We've had so much success without winning a trophy. We've done all that we can and we're just going down. And I think the appointment of Conte, while it shows ambition, it's a final. If this doesn't work out, I'm scared to think of where Tottenham will go. Nobody will want to come in and manage us. We'll probably turn to someone like Solskjaer or someone like, I don't know, obviously Frank Lampard wouldn't want to come, but someone like Antonio Conte is the final piece. The only top class manager I can see coming in is Pochettino's return. That's the only thing I can think happening because of his emotional ties to the club. No one with a logical brain would come to a club where serial winners Mourinho and Conte couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that scares me. So they need to pull their fingers out and support this man. Paratici, I mean, even Paratici is under investigation at the moment, which is a scary thing. If he gets prosecuted or worse and has to leave his position at Tottenham, then we're screwed. The main reason Conte joined was because of his old buddy Paratici. And if that ends up being a bad thing, then we are literally in the mud. It's on a knife's edge. We can either kick on under Conte, find our identity again, and push for top four. Maybe not this season, but if he does enough next season or even this season, just to get us into a cup run, make a final, make a semi-final, not get knocked out by Gillingham, for example, of the EFL Cup like we did a couple of seasons ago on penalties. Just do something that's not going to destroy a club that made the Champions League final not 2.5 years ago. I'm even wearing the shirt we made the final in.
Yeah, look, we're absolutely shocking at the minute. Absolutely shocking. It's just, I don't know. We're just not good enough. But like, look, man, where do we go from here? Like, say if he doesn't get help in the window, where does he go? Actually, I just want to give people some of Steve Hitchens' signings here. Davinson Sanchez, 42 million, hasn't worked out. Paulo Gazzaniga was brought in for around 15 million, been and gone. One Fight, 10 million, been and gone. Sold him for 11. Serge Aurier, been and gone, paid 23 million. Shocking. Fernando Llorente, okay, you'd say that deal worked out in the long run. Wasn't a bad backup, 12 million. Lucas Moura, 25 million. Okay, for how long he's been here, you'd say that's okay. Now, that's just the summer of January 2017 alone. You know, it's absolutely shocking. I mean, it's just not good enough. And I can get up more. I will get up more now in a sec. But sorry, Luke, what do you think of the 2017 window?
That window sounds like something out of career mode when you're a struggling mid-table side trying to fund deals, not someone who just finished second in the league and has backed it up by signing. Okay, I will admit Lucas Moura has been hit and miss, but I like him for the most part. Fernando Llorente, purely for the Man City game, deserves to be up there. But if you take out those two, we've had Paulo Gazzaniga, who was an okay backup, but when Hugo Lloris got injured, was absolutely shocking. We had Serge Aurier, who was, I can remember one good game, and that was the 6-1 against Man United. I can't actually remember any other performance memorable from him. You think about Juan Foyth, he's left the club and already won a trophy. Like, Eriksen's done it. Walker's done it. Foyth has done it. Like, so many players, and Harry Kane could have been the biggest of them all this summer. The Harry Kane situation is perilous because he's showing on the pitch he doesn't want to be here. He's reiterated his commitment to Tottenham, but if you're gonna play like that for a club that you're supposedly committed to, you can't fool people. You know, Harry Kane. I think there are pros and cons to selling him and keeping him. Now that we've kept him, we have to get the most out of him, as we have been season on season. But if we had sold him, Nuno wouldn't have been the man to use that 150 mil. If we sold Harry Kane and then got in Conte, I think that would have, we would have had to first of all replace Harry Kane. That's an impossible task for any team. But just the money, because we still have debts to be written off.
Yeah.
We're still like hundreds of millions of pounds in debt from the loan Levy took out instead of using his own money. and it's backfiring so badly. And the pandemic couldn't have come at a worse time for Tottenham. I'm not saying that obviously the pandemic is first and foremost a health concern, and I give my sympathies out to anyone who's been affected by the pandemic. I luckily haven't, but I know many people who have. But from a purely footballing perspective, the pandemic couldn't have come at a worse time for Tottenham. We were halfway into Jose Mourinho's first full season in charge.
Yeah.
And it scuppered it completely. I mean, not that we were doing anything, not that we were making waves, but we weren't doing terribly. And now look at us.
Yeah. No, it's a joke. And look, I'm going to give you the next transfer window. So 18-19, nothing, of course, absolutely nothing. So we go into 19-20. Steve Hitchin was in charge of this one as well. Give me 1 second now. I'm going to call out some players here. Okay, Tanguy Ndombele, £54 million. Hasn't worked out. The Celso ended up paying 45 million pounds. Hasn't worked out. Steven Bergwijn, 27 million pounds. Hasn't worked out. Ryan Sessegnon, 24 million pounds. Hasn't worked out. Loaned in Gedson Fernandez, who was absolutely shit, and paid a loan fee of 4 million. Bought in Jack Clark for 10 million. You know what I mean? You look at that window. How many of them have worked out?
When you think about
Michelle Form on a free, but how many have worked out? None of them. None of them.
You look at Jack Clark, he's been outperformed by our own academy player, Dylan Markanda. He's been outperformed by academy players, and we bought him for 10 million. That was a joke. The Bergwijn deal is the only one that I would say for the price that we paid. I don't think he's been terrible. He hasn't been good by any means of stretch, but he hasn't been Lo Celso and Ndombele terrible. He's been probably one tier above them, because I absolutely love Steven Bergwijn. I love him. I think he could. I mean, he can't finish his dinner, but I remember the game against Liverpool when ultimately we were caught out by amazing Alisson saves, but he was absolutely amazing. He just couldn't finish. Yeah. In a Jose Mourinho system, he could have been that defense, because in a Jose Mourinho, you play 3 forwards. You play the 2 that stick up and 1 defender. I remember when Mourinho played it with Chelsea, Hazard and Costa were the ones who stayed back, and I think it was Pedro who ran back to help defensively. That could have been Bergwijn, but it just didn't work out. I think if he played against Moura, if he wasn't ill, I think he would have probably started ahead of Dele Alli, and then played. He could have seriously caused them problems. I think Bergwijn. I remember when we bought in Lo Celso. I looked at the price we paid for Ndombele and I thought that's ridiculous already. I'd watched a couple of Lyon games and he was good, but he had Houssem Aouar next to him, who is an amazing player. He's absolutely quality player, and he had defensive midfielders behind him like Bruno Guimaraes and Maxence Caqueret at Lyon. He had defensive, and we don't have that. Like our main defensive midfielder, that partnership of Dembele and Wanyama was so underrated in 16-17, and we've lost that. Ndombele is not built like a Dembele replacement. They have the same name. That's about it. They're so different players. Ndombele's work rate is pathetic. His ambition is shocking, and his drive, there's nothing to be seen. If he was a car, Dembele would be a Hummer, and Ndombele would be a Citroen C3. He's absolutely shocking. I really wanted Lo Celso to work out. I really wanted to, because I have many people around me support PSG and told me how good he was when they came for their academy. He had that season at Betis where he made the team of the season in La Liga, and he was absolutely amazing. We brought him in, and we thought, he's not going to be our Bruno Fernandes, but can he at least be our Eriksen, not replacement, but the heir to the throne? And he's just been injured. When he's played, he's been okay. He's not been great, but he's just been injured. His fitness is horrible.
Nah, look, the windows have been absolutely shocking. Like the next one here, Gareth Bale loaned in, that worked out. Reguilon, good transfer. Højbjerg, good transfer. But then you're talking about a loan of Carlos Vinicius, Matt Doherty brought in, Joe Rodon as well. I mean, so out of all them windows there, I mean, he's got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 players that have actually worked out compared to the rest. I mean, how is this fraud still at the club? I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't.
But look, Mikey, absolutely brilliant calling. Anything else you want to say before I let you go, my man?
No, I was just going to say that I think the Højbjerg deal is the one that sticks in my head as being the most successful. Carlos Vinicius, he was good for what he did, but ultimately we weren't going to pay that 45 million. Now he's doing it in the Dutch league. So literally,
He's not even playing. He wasn't even playing for PSV.
Because I don't think he is actually, but I remember the last window we had with Bale, Højbjerg, and Reguilon. That was a good window, but you balance it out, like it was those three signings alone are good, and then you have Matt Doherty, who single-handedly brings it down by about 6 places.
Yep,
he's honestly been the worst one. I think him and Ndombele and Sanchez hold the claim to be the 3 worst signings we've made.
Yep. No, absolutely spot on. I have to agree with them. I mean, like when you just take his transfer windows, you know what I mean? He's got a lot more wrong than what he's got right. It's absolutely shocking, Mikey. It's absolutely shocking. But look, my man, will you be around Thursday to come and join me on the pre-match pump-up, Mikey?
Maybe. I'll see.
Come on, Thursday, get yourself on, Mikey.
Probably not. I've got uni lectures that day, but I'll see if I can.
Yeah. Nah, look, no worries at all. Look, do get yourself on. I'm sure you will. Look, kickoff is until 7. So pre-match pump-up for 7:30. So pre-match pump-up will be in around 5:30, 6-ish. So look, should be enough time for you to get home and get on, my man.
Yeah, I will then. My lecture finishes at 5, so I should be good.
Nah, absolutely perfect. But look, I know the game's cancelled today, but end on the biggest, loudest, come on, you Spurs, Mikey.
Come on, you Spurs. Goodbye.
Come on, louder than that, Mikey. Up the decibels.
Come on, you Spurs.
That's what I'm talking about. Unleash the passion, my man. Big up, Mikey, boy. And I'll see you Thursday, brother, all right?
See you Thursday.
You enjoy yourself. Absolutely loving the passion from Mike. Have to say, I absolutely love the passion from Mike. Absolutely brilliant. But look, guys, I think we're going to end it off here. Of course, the game was cancelled, due to the snow. Nothing we can do about it. Thoroughly disappointing. But look, I hope everyone's enjoyed the bit of the pre-match pump-up / debate over transfers and stuff like that. Hope people have really enjoyed it. But yeah, look, I'll see you all back here Thursday, ready to go again. As always, come on, you Spurs. In Conte we trust.